Hi, my name is Francine and I have ovarian cancer. We don't know how long I have, so my job right now is to make every day count. Hi everybody. Today I want to talk to you about how your life changes when you are facing a cancer diagnosis. I was first diagnosed in 2022 with low-grade ovarian cancer. It was actually a recurrence, but this particular cancer was called primary peritoneal cancer the first time around when I was diagnosed in 2003. And my experience with both of these bouts were very, very different. So I'll just talk about this one. I felt like I went right from COVID, when we were all kind of in crisis, and went right into cancer mode. So life has been full of change. In this video, I would like to share how my life has changed since my diagnosis. And if you're newly diagnosed, stay until the end. You might pick up a couple of tips or things to actually prepare for. The initial change was emotional. I mean, you can't sugarcoat cancer. And fear and anxiety, all very normal feelings. You have grief at the possible loss of your life. You have grief at the possibility that you're going to leave the people you love. You have grief over the loss of your health. There's a lot to take in. All that along with the fear of the unknown. It's a lot. There are people that just, even when they recover, just will never be the same. It's very much a PSTD. The very thought of how this is going to affect your life and all the things that are going to change now, I mean, it is literally a game changer. You know, you get used to a new normal, but you have to process so much emotionally. My head was so preoccupied with thoughts. Would I be able to work through treatments? And would I feel okay? And how would this affect my family? You know, and my income and the medical bills. Could I even financially afford this? And how much of a burden will I be to everyone else, especially my husband, Chris? Nobody asked for this. And I've always been strong and independent. I didn't feel so strong or independent anymore. I felt vulnerable and fragile. The next changes that I noticed were physical. Bowel habits, nausea, fatigue. Those symptoms all led me to the diagnosis of the recurrence. But then there were other things, just small symptoms, but those things have gotten worse. And so what happens is you end up planning your life around your symptoms. And anybody, even with IBS, is going to know if they're having a good day, a bad day, what appointments can they work around. You know, sometimes I wake up and I have to be flexible. Sometimes I just don't feel good in general. And yeah, I've had to, at times, cancel an appointment or reschedule something, not follow through with my plan of the day. And at first, that kind of flexibility was frustrating because I'm a person of action and I have a bit of a type A personality, if you didn't figure that out already. And it's just, letting go of not who you were or are, because you are the same person, but you have to be willing to let go of things that just no longer serve, at this time, because this is a different life. You are the same person, but your life has changed. That's not easy to accept. It's not easy to let go of some things. I can tell you that for sure. And then there was chemotherapy. A lot of physical changes. A lot of you understand side effects of chemotherapy, and it always depends on the particular regimen that you're on and the particular cancer you have. But it can be hard on the body. It is hard on the body. There's no doubt about that. And you have to schedule your life around those treatments and the times that you will not be feeling well, that you at least know about. And there are also unexpected times you're not feeling well because of chemotherapy. So all of these annoyances actually culminate to needing to be flexible, because it was all affecting my daily routine. I'm used to a different daily routine now, but it is hard to get there. And hopefully, if you are newly diagnosed, you might get a treatment and one and done and get back to your life. That would be great. It's not how it happened for me. So I was scheduling appointments around my treatments, and boy, did I have a lot of appointments. I still do. My appetite was changing. My tastes were changing. A lot of that is still actually the case. So my dinner menu has changed. The major changes that I made at that point were mental and emotional. Being mindful, coming to some acceptance, doing some healing work, inner work while you're on chemo is helpful. Whether you get some energy work, Qigong or Reiki or angelic healing, that's as strong as the power of prayer. So that is something that was in my regimen on a regular basis. Knowing that chemo would eventually end actually did give me hope that I was turning a corner and, going back to sort of my life as it was. But that would not be the case. I know I said that wrong. That would have not been the case. I actually had to go through a different route because the chemo didn't work. So now we're on to an additional change or two. Surgery was the next option, which I definitely took. Even though we had it off the table in the beginning, we put it back on the table. And I had hoped that at least the surgeons would get a lot of it, even if they couldn't reach everything, because that still bought me some time. It didn't go that way either. And this time, my hope was lost. I went through a very difficult time emotionally. I think I fared pretty well under the circumstances. With a new diagnosis that included the word terminal, now I refocused everything, all my energy, in planning my death. I mean, that's so blunt, but that is what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing at that point. The recovery from surgery was long, and it sent me back into the mental zone again. So now I'm going back to where my life changes mentally and emotionally. But life goes on. I know that's ironic, but I still have to do things, right? So at that point, there were palliative care appointments, some of which to take care of what was going on now, but also to talk about the future. There was plan A, plan B. I had done some research, and I decided an option would be to hasten my death by going through the Death with Dignity MAID program. But I'm in Pennsylvania, so my plan is still to get up to Vermont when the time comes. I'm not there yet. But that was a lot of planning. I went up to Vermont. I've been up there twice. I have all my doctors lined up. The other thing was, my arrangements. What if I'm not able to get up to Vermont when the time comes? I may be too sick. So then hospice would be the next option. And so I needed to tour the local hospice here with my husband. I wanted to make sure I'm comfortable. And these are just facts. I mean, I was in total type A personality mode. I was just going to get all this done. I didn't want Chris to have to deal with a lot except to open a file on my computer and see all the instructions that needed to be done. And even a cremation. I mean, if I died in Vermont, then do I get cremated there? Because that's certainly easier. Or do I get cremated here? And if I want to prepay for my plans, who am I paying? I mean, I can't really even do that part yet. I need to know where it's going to happen. There's all kinds of procedures and things that I just wanted to make sure that I dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's. I mean, there was even a garage sale, and I didn't want to burden Chris. Now, mind you, when you're told you're terminal, you think that maybe, okay, I got 6 months to a year. She couldn't say, the oncologist. So you just sort of surmise that because that's sort of the average. But no, I'm here, I guess about a year and a half after the surgery. I'm still here. And although my symptoms have worsened a little bit, really, I can't complain. I think one of the reasons was because I opted out of any other treatments that where the side effects were just so bad. I mean, there was one that I agreed to. It was a pill. It wasn't going to take away all my tumors, but it was going to hopefully prolong things. The side effects were so bad that the oncologist took me off of it, offered me another option, but I just know I truly feel that I'm feeling as good as I am because I didn't take any more options. One can respect me for that or not. It's fine. I'm not going to please everyone with my behavior. Trust me. Yeah. So the only thing that I didn't plan was still being here today. And now I regret a lot of the things that I gave up at the garage sale, but I have replaced a few. I seriously had plenty of stuff though. And I'm glad that I was able to get that burden off my family. So those plans are mostly in place. I mean, as much as I can, without knowing the whens and the hows. But when that time comes, I'm going to spring into action and do my best. Nobody likes to leave things unfinished. There have also been many social changes in my life. Many. I never really expected so much. I don't spread myself so thin anymore. There are just no envelopes to push. I plan my day around how I feel. I try to only make a certain amount of appointments in a week, whether it's doctor's tests or even to see a client once in a while. I really don't work very much anymore. Yep. And as time goes on, I work less and less. And that's certainly part of my social activity because I talk to people for a living. So as I said, I plan 1 or 2 things a day Otherwise, I get overwhelmed or I feel exhausted. I just can't take on what I used to take on. And in the social realms, that's also true. Not just like doctor's appointments, but lunch with friends. I've had to tighten my circle a little bit because, I mean, there are a lot of people that invite me to lunch, just as an example, and some of them I don't know very well. So I have decided to not blossom new friendships, but acquaintances are still important to me. I don't value anyone less. There's a social aspect to YouTube, and I really enjoy reading comments, and I will do that for as long as I can. I don't reply to every single one, but I try. And so, yeah, my day is filled with very different things now. Making YouTube videos. Well, I wish it was just getting on here for 20 minutes or so and click and upload, but there is a process. There is definitely a process. So I have it timed so that it fits my schedule. And at least if I wake up tomorrow and don't feel good, whatever it is, I can put off another day. So there's some flexibility that I'm given, but it's not easy. It's really juggling and a balancing act. You know, I mean, there are plans that Chris and I have, and I'm just like, I don't really feel it. I'm just not feeling that great. So basically, I live a very boring life now, which is okay. I'm all right with it because I'm still feeling better. If I overdo it, I am afraid that I'll get sick, so I'm very careful. Online activities have become very important. There are things because of my hands that I can't do anymore. Crafts. I used to like to make jewelry. And now I have supplies just sitting collecting dust. But online activities, I do enjoy. I enjoy reading. I don't like reading books. That I get too tired, but that's always been a thing for me. But reading websites and watching YouTube and getting on a social media that's not too toxic, I find comfort in that. That's sort of my social life. I still go to lunch with friends. I still go into the office once in a while. I get plenty of tests, and I talk to a lot of healthcare workers. But I also like to do some research, and I like quiet time. So those things in my life have definitely changed. I also want to talk about changes in perspective. That is another thing that happens when you're diagnosed, and almost immediately we realize life is too short. Even if we are assured by the medical community that everything's fine, everything was contained, we're just going to do a little surgery and you may not even need treatments afterwards. So good. I wish it was that easy for everyone. But it doesn't matter even if you have a little bit of a scare and it turns out for the best, you know, that you're good. It still gets you thinking. The mind just keeps going. And you realize, yeah, life is short. Don't take it for granted. Sometimes I think that spirit just kicks somebody in the butt with a scare just to remind them, you know, to interact with the world, to be kind, you know, to practice empathy and mindfulness and draw your boundaries. There's so much to learn. That is the only thing that I'm actually grateful for with cancer. It sucks in every other way, but it was definitely a reminder. And that's why, you know, I have that goal of making every day count, even the bad ones. The cancer diagnosis makes your priorities change. So yeah, daily life for sure. Chances are most of you who are newly diagnosed are good. Going to do treatments and you're going to get back to your life. But that does not mean that it's not a scary journey. It is. If I were to give the newly diagnosed any piece of advice, it would be don't overthink everything. Don't panic. because it'll drive you crazy. Yes, there are possible changes in your life. Maybe not. Just accept that changes may need to be made and you'll just tweak the course as needed. And that's okay. Nobody likes change. Get that. At least not the stuff we can't control. But that doesn't mean the outcome isn't going to be good. It's a matter of your perspective. I think reflection, self-reflection is so important. It's like, what am I learning from this? What is the universe asking of me? And hopefully it is making your priorities change and perhaps fixing things in your life that you've put off, or, so many things. We're all individuals. The journey is kind of scary, but you can make sure that good things happen, good things that come out of it and change your life, hopefully for the better. Okay, now I'm rambling. If you have been diagnosed, I wish you the best on your journey. I hope it is short and sweet. Just get that treatment and get out. Get back to your life. I know that can't be 100% everybody, but they've made a lot of strides in cancer treatments, and there's so many more surviving it now. And I wish you all the best. If you have been here till the end, I really appreciate it. And I would appreciate if you would hit the like button and subscribe. Sorry, my voice is just nuts today. I don't know what's going on. So if you want to see my videos, if you want to get announcements about them, just make sure that little black bell next to subscribe is black, and that will make sure that you get alerts. Okay. Feel blessed. Be blessed, because you are blessed. All right. Bye.